What is up? Wanted to do a trade recap as a video, just something I would like to get into. Not only as like a video journal, but also something that can hold me accountable to stick to my rules. Because if I do this every day and I don't stick to my rules, then I'm gonna get made fun of, right? And see, logic, whatever. I don't know. And also, don't mind my hair; it's atrocious, but it is what it is. But yeah, wanted to jump in the charts. Wanted to go over the trade I took today. Did come out green. About $506. Well, not out. I think $506. $506.30, which I'll show you guys in just a second. And go over the trade, why I took it, what the bias was, whole 9 yards, so that one, you can see it. Two, maybe you can learn from it. Three, so that I have video records of this and what I did well, what I could have done better, etc., etc. So yeah, let's go over it. So real quickly, just to show you the P&L on Top Step. Hopefully it's showing up well and not like ungraphic. I don't know. Hopefully the graphics are decent. Right there, 506 with some M&Q contracts. So yeah, let's go over this trade real quickly. I have it already drawn up. But before we get into that, I would like to use replay mode, select bar. Let's do 9:30 open. That should be like the 9:29 candle. Yep. Cool. So, honestly, what I'm going to actually doesn't matter. So anyway, we came in the day and using top-down approach, right? We're clearly in a downtrend, right? And this is the completion of the S&T that we've been seeing for the last couple of days. We technically completed it yesterday, based on this previous all-time high of January 13th up into these highs on the 28th, with the lowest point being down there. Completed it yesterday, I believe, on ES. I think that's the case. Anyway, so we've been in a downtrend on the daily time frame. We can again see that in more detailed on the 4-hour. Downtrend. There's your high time frame kind of biased. And we keep breaking it down until about the 1-hour, and this is where I start to find the sauce, if you will. And this is already off. Why is it off? There we go. So looking at this, right, we clearly can see the trend. Start, lower high, lower high, lower high, bam, extension. Right, we saw right off a little before market open, we saw some sell-off that helped me kind of form a bias of, okay, we might need to pull back and fill some of the unmitigated fair value gaps, which, as we can see right here, we have that 15-minute fair value gap. We have a 5-minute fair value gap right there, and another 5-minute fair value gap right there. Relative equal highs up there if we really want to target all the way up there, right? And we have some sell side liquidity down here at the 708. So coming into it, my overall bias for like the daily 4-hour higher time frame was definitely bearish, right? We can get that because of, well, what are we targeting, right? We're targeting potentially this 4-hour intermediate low and maybe even the new week opening gap that we can see on the daily time frame way down there. So I still believe in more downside. However, looking just intraday morning drive, I'm primarily focused on what might we see right after open. And at this point, my objective, which should be basically here, let me click this candle one more time. It gives us 9 o'clock when I open the charts. I was like, cool, it would be really nice to see us basically pop, drop and then pop back up, fill some of this imbalance and maybe hit equilibrium on this leg to then, maybe we see a late day short, right? But, looking at this, let's say we somehow get an entry down here and we target like 5-minute fair value gap. Trying to think if that's where I target. I guess, yeah, the trade's out. So yeah, right there. Something seems off. For some reason, I thought it was like 311. I don't know. Maybe 311's up there, I think. Yep, 4-hour is that 311-ish area. Anyway, but some type of pop into it and then maybe see a late day sell-off. However, focusing on morning drive, I just want to see a little popper. So coming into it, we see London lows right here, sell side liquidity. So if we take that out, maybe we see a nice like rip off of it. Looking at ES, we kind of had the very similar thing if we go down to the 5-minute and look at market open. Of course, it's already played out, but down here we had this major sell side liquidity right here. I have some other stuff. I think it's like a higher time frame, intermediate low, potential fair value gap, whatever. But that's the equivalence of that spot on NQ. Looking for us to retrace again to kind of hit equilibrium, maybe fill some of this intermediate lows and hit, of course, the 1 hour fair value gap that we had marked out. So that was my overall game plan, just to find some type of pop or drop and then pop up into those highs. So right off the rip, if we go down to 1 minute, I'm gonna let it shake out till 9:30 because I don't only want to look for trades post 9:30. So being right there, we've dropped into a key spot, sell side liquidity, and got a pretty initial move off of it. I'm on the 2 minute, and right away, and I even looked at the 30-second. There was something there, but it ended up moving to the 1 minute because we rejected on this minute right there. But we can see there is a 1 minute fair value gap that we are respecting. You know, if we're going to get a move higher, I would love to see a inversion of that. And then, yeah, there's nothing on that 5 minute leg. 4 minute on TradingView is really weird. I gotta say, it takes the longest to like load. Really nothing on the leg because I'm looking from like post 9:30 leg. 3 minute, nothing. 2 minute, I'm pretty sure is nothing. Yep. 1 minute, fair value gap. Cool. So if I can get an inversion of that, then I can look to go long. Should be right there. Bink, inversion, wait for the candle to close. I went long, okay? And was targeting, I think it was these 5 minute highs. I think is where I took profit. Watch this be like something 11. No. So I'm targeting these highs right there, give or take. About, I'm looking for about a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, 1 to whatever. As long as it's positive. And that's pretty much it. So right off the rip, we enter. Now we do get a creation of a fair value gap. So first thing I could have done better. I mean, arguably, I don't even know if I should have done this, but in this scenario, maybe I could have. But wait for some type of little retracement because I believe this next candle hits this fair value gap, right? Look for it to respect that. Maybe try a long off of that into these highs. Definitely something I could have done. I think we even retest the fair value gap. Yeah, we do. Right. Bam. Right back. And I think the next candle is where I took profit. Maybe 2 candles. I think it's 2 candles. Okay, so right there. Right. Bink. Take profit. Okay. That was it. I mean, this is, let's see, 8 minutes in the market open. And from entry, it was 3 minutes and made about $506.30. Okay, so the trade was good. Nothing wrong with it. Again, it's bearish biased on the higher time frames, but looking for a bullish low time frame just to fill some of the imbalance and like basically distribute off of the sell side liquidity, right? The lower liquidity to distribute up into these unfilled, unmitigated fair value gaps, right? You could always target, you know, relative equal highs up here, these like low resistance liquidity. However, with it being a bearish bias on the macro, I don't really want to be targeting, you know, crazy things, really looking for crazy moves if it's not aligned with the trend. So this is very small thing. Aside from entry, which is arguable, I really don't know if I would say like, okay, I should have waited because there's no guarantee. What I could have done though is definitely target that intermediate low in the 5 minute. Right, so at least that, I think there was an intermediate low. Maybe I'm thinking of something higher. That was the intermediate low. That's what I was talking about. It was a 15 intermediate low and then potentially 5 minute, yeah, 5 minute intermediate low. Right, I could have easily targeted the 15 minute fair value gap, the 5 minute fair value gap, somewhere up there, giving me a better risk to reward. Because if I had done that, then instead of making about 75 points, we're looking at about a 116 points, risking about 70 points, a 1-to-6 RR. I think that's 1-to-6, right? Yeah, it's a 1.6, so 1 to 1.6 RR. Took me a second there, but that's pretty much what I could have done differently as far as take profit, because you can see, I guess the next candle, we come up to it. I feel like we do, because that's equal highs right there, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, not quite. Relative equal highs. I do believe we smashed through the 30 mark. Yeah, so right, I could have at least gotten, you know, full TP, something up there. And then sure enough, here's the other thing I could have done. So looking at it, we know that the biased, my higher time frame biased, it was bearish, right? So if I wanted to trade with my high time frame, then I could have just, basically zoomed back out, go, okay, cool. We are now in a point of interest. I'm looking for the same kind of thing as a setup. So I want to see some volume or some, displacement out of this thing, out of these 5 minute, I think it's 5 minute fair value gap. I'm forgetting all the time. 5 minute fair value gap, right? I want to see something displace out of it, and push lower, right? So looking at this leg, there's a fair value gap right there. Is there one on the 4 minute? See what I mean? The 4 minute takes so much longer. No fair value gap on the 4 minute. You go to the 3 minute. Watch how fast this loads. Bing, right? I don't get a trading view. Come on, man. 2 minute. Nope. No fair value gap. That's like unfilled. I mean, arguably it's that, but I wouldn't really want to go with that. I'd rather go with the 5 minute. And of course, the 1 minute you can, you got fair value there. There's so many. So the ideal one would be the 5 minute. It's a single one. Bang. Let's mark this out. Look for some type of inversion of it to go long or go short. And then target. I might have clicked too many times. I don't know if it's gonna put me right. So gone short right here. Honestly, think I'd already left by then. So I'm not too sure if this will play out. Say I want to risk up to here. And then I'm trying to remember what this is. Oh, that was the 4 hour intermediate low or 4 hour fair value gap, I think. So target down into there. About a 2.2, right? So this I can risk a little more or profit a little more because it's aligned with that high time frame bias versus counter trend trade, which in my opinion you got to be a little careful on, right? No point in predicting the exact bottom if we haven't had a change of character or a market shift or whatever you want to call it, right? So just to see how this plays out, I honestly don't know if it will stop me out before it hits TP. So right there, right, intermediate lows into here or intraday lows or whatever, you could go break even. I mean, up 94 points. I think I probably would go break even, especially after a winning trade. Oh, bing, slam through, right? So you could have easily taken that trade. I'm curious to see if we do run all the way down. No, we don't. Right. So voila. I was curious if we went down to 360. I already forgot what I looked like when I loaded it up. So yeah, those were that was my trade, and that was the other trade that probably could have been taken just to align with the bias. Again, just to reiterate why, it's because, macro bearish, right? Micro, basically 15 minute and lower, bullish for the short term of pop. It was like a drop and pop into a pop and drop, right? So we were looking for extension. We were looking to catch the retracement. And then we were like this, right? And if market open was like right in here, the ideal spot to find some liquidity was right down there, looking for it to pop out of it and catch a long up into the short spot, which is above market open, which on the high time frame, you get it. I don't got to explain it. So yeah, not a bad trade, not a bad trading day. I mean, I was done in 8 minutes and I got to go hit the gym. My arms are small. I know, I'm not big, not big yet. Keyword yet. But yeah, cool deal. Just wanted to show you guys that. If you do have any questions on like what the hell all of this is, let me know. I can try and help you guys out. Put in the comments. If you're in the Discord, shoot me a DM, tag me, whatever I can do to help you guys out. I will. And if you're not in the Discord, that's fine. Comment on how you if you want to get in the Discord, I can show you how to get there. Or if you just had like a question, you don't gotta be in the Discord. Just put it in the comments. I'll answer it for you. I'll try to answer it for you. It might be delayed. So yeah, cool deal. I will see you guys potentially tomorrow for another trade recap. If I get a good trade, even if I get a losing trade, I will see you in the recap, right? No matter what. So adios. See you guys.